Hi everybody, it's meteorologist Terry Swails. It's Saturday, July 12th, and this is your weather briefing, and you're on tswails.com. And the day started out pretty rocky around parts of the area, particularly over eastern Iowa, where some late night and early morning showers and thunderstorms brought a lot of lightning, thunder, and some locally heavy rain. Not all that much here in the Quad Cities, around a quarter to half-inch amounts, particularly on the north side of town. But then if you run right out on Interstate 80 and head west to Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, some of the rain totals there as high as 2.5 inches this morning, and some minor flash flooding occurred in a few locations thanks to the saturated grounds that exist around the region. And we're not done with the thunderstorms just yet. The Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk of severe weather out today, and that extends from southwestern Michigan back through Chicago, right through the heart of the Quad Cities, and on back towards Omaha, Nebraska. So that does cover much of northern Illinois and pretty much the entire state of Iowa. The primary threat is going to be wind. There could be some areas with some hail, but I think the wind gusts of up to 50 or 60 miles an hour will be a possibility in some of the stronger storms. This isn't going to be a widespread severe weather outbreak, but there could be a couple that get up there around that strength. And there's even a chance of a couple isolated tornadoes. You can see the risk, though, is 5% or less, but it does include the Quad Cities running from northwestern Illinois right back into the southern parts of Iowa. So something to keep an eye on there as we move into the afternoon and evening hours. One of the things that's happened down in southern Iowa is that the sun has begun to pop out, and there the temperatures have been warming quickly, and that's where the greatest instability is currently found. In fact, let's take a look at the surface chart here and give you an idea of what's going on down that way. And if you look closely there around Ottumwa, Iowa, the temperature at 1 o'clock was up to 86 degrees, and the dew points are in the mid-70s. So that is some really unstable air, to say the least. You get temperatures that warm and that much moisture, it does create a lot of instability. And here's some of the lifted indexes that are currently out there. And I show you this is because you can kind of get an idea where the most unstable air is currently located. And you see that red hashed area there? That's where the lifted indexes are at -6 to -8. So the air can be readily lifted into showers and thunderstorms in that area. And so we think that that's probably going to be the focus for the strongest thunderstorms later on today. And here's another view of the instability. This is the CAPE values, and you're looking at the state of Iowa there. CAPE standing for Convective Available Potential Energy. And in that purple swath there, right along Interstate 80 from the Quad Cities right back to Omaha and Des Moines, that's where the greatest instability is expected to exist during the evening hours today. So plenty of CAPE out there for strong thunderstorms. And notice too how the water vapor is really lined up along with the instability in the CAPE. This is how much water vapor is in the air for potential showers and thunderstorms, and it's almost up to 3 inches in that purple area there that extends from just southwest of Iowa City and then back towards the Quad Cities. So 2.5 to 3 inches of available water to be squeezed out in the form of showers and thunderstorms. And that means if you get them to develop, and we think they're going to go sometime later today, at least on a scattered basis, somebody is most likely going to see some heavy rainfall. And of course, speaking of that, we've got some rain totals to show you. This here is off the high resolution model that we call the NAM, and we're in the 4-kilometer version of it here. And there are spots that have as much as 2 to 3 inches of rain. It's kind of spotty, and that's the way it'll be with these storms. Not everybody going to get those big gully washers, but here and there's going to be some hefty ones, and it would not shock me to see another couple places pick up 2 or 3 more inches of rain. Now here's the GFS version of the actual rain totals. Not nearly as bullish as the high-res model, but it still does indicate over the southeastern half of Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and most of northern parts of Illinois that the threat is there for 1 to 2 inches of rain in some of the stronger storms once they get going late today or this evening. So here we go into the evening hours at 7 o'clock, and this is a simulated radar. Shows most of the storms at that time are just beginning to pop north of Interstate 80. That's right on that instability gradient there. And so on the edge of the heating is where the storms are expected to fire. And from there, they're probably going to move east-southeast. And so our model does think that's going to be the case here. And it shows at 11 o'clock at night a big cluster of thunderstorms there that's running across northern Illinois, right back through the Quad Cities and into central Iowa. And that's the area that will be under the gun then for the locally heavy rains and perhaps a few scattered severe storms as we get towards the late afternoon and evening hours. And if things go as according to plan, wouldn't even shock me to see some sort of weather watch issued for parts of the region later on today. So we'll be watching that situation closely. Of course, I'll have updates right here on tswails.com, and we'll get back to you as quick as possible when those come out. And in the meantime, roll weather and have yourself an excellent Saturday.